Hello friends, we're officially back with another episode review, but before that, please take a moment to go follow me over at Twitch TV, Genkigamingtv 2018. It would be much appreciated. I do tons of different content over there, and it's a extra part that you can pay it forward to me. With that out of the way, today's episode is called The Sad Princess of War, The End of Elza The Unmaker, or Kanashiki Senhime Elza Meika no Saigo. And that's bluntly the same title as the English title. But we'll never probably see this in English. Maybe Southeast Asian English dub. That's probably the closest thing that we would ever get to English dubs of Yokai Watch for a little while. I believe that region of the world would probably have an English dub. But with that out of the way, with that little transition out of the way, let's thank Austin or Stark Industries again for supplying me with the link to the episode. Go subscribe or follow him, whichever you prefer to do. So, there's a lot that people will say they really like about this episode, but there are some very inconsistent points that I feel like I want to talk about here at first. Inconsistency wise is Elza just like she's fighting for control of herself. Like this has not really been implied prior to last week's episode. It seems like Elna is fighting for control of Elza Meika. Also, Captain Inconsistent, Ronto. Did he always have that sword, or am I... Like, I felt like that came out of... Like, he might have had it, but I'm not entirely sure. The other thing, guys, that I thought that I should bring up right away. We have two team attacks. The first one actually had meaning and significance. Like, you guys can't say the Shishio QB team attack did not have significance or, like, heart or feeling. But the Viper and Sky Snaker, like, as much as I love those characters, like, their team attack was downplays the significance of the Shishio QB one. And, like, when I say downplay, I don't mean insults it, but it just brings down, like, the significance of it. Like, team attack should be this, like, big thing. Especially, Milo and QB Senpai basically hated each other, but still worked together. Through, like, respect of Jinpei. And that was kind of... I don't want to say it was dismissed or anything, but it kind of felt as if they're like, we're just gonna let this roll. Like, I get that what happened to Chiaki mattered and played on the heartstrings of some people. Like, I'm gonna get into all of this here momentarily. The last thing that kind of causes me to gripe a little bit. How did Motaro know about the story when Haruhiko was, like, reading it alone, off camera? We did not get a scene that shows Haruhiko, like, Motaro wasn't even with the rest of the group when Haruhiko had screen time this episode. Like, I might be dumb thinking about this way, but it just kind of feels like Motaro just knew. So, we'll just go with that if that's going to be the case, but let's dive into the review actually now. Elza Meika laughing, shooting pink beams of destruction, Maho Shoujo pretty cure beam of death. She powers up into her final form, quote unquote, and she gets ready to go to war. she puts Elna's body with Shinobu-chan, which, guys, I thought I would hate Shinobu by the end of this, but Shinobu's caring and compassion towards Elna, like, he cared for Nayu, we can all say that, but he truly loved and cared for Elna as a subordinate. And we have Elza The Unmaker basically going ham on everyone with new power-up, even though it's not really a new power-up, blocking the sword attack, blocking Junpei's yo-yo, getting power from Palpatine, I mean Mazera, this isn't Star Wars, Genki. What are you talking about? And I like the armor shift or upgrade for her, where it just kind of looks like it's hardened, like it becomes like black steel. But I feel like that looks really nice. I feel like Elza The Unmaker was a polished opponent to a certain degree, and I like the fact that she fodderized Coma Commander and the Viper and like the rest of the group, even after upgrades. I think that her fodderizing them with this power-up makes her look strong, even though this encounter overall does display her as a weaker opponent by the end of it. I'm not saying she's horribly weak, I'm not saying that she is like a putty style fodder. Like, I'm not trying to insult her at all. I'm just saying that this episode both helped and hurt her appeal. Chiaki got shot by Elza The Unmaker, Frieza style through the chest. Not like we haven't seen this last episode with... No, we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about the flashback that we're going to re-get shortly. You just gotta love Yokai flashback. Basically, Motaro and Titus said, hey, we should probably go help with the battle. So they show up and they start being a healing cleric. Or maybe they're more of a paladin if you really think about it, because they do fight physically. So everyone gets healed up. Chiaki's hole in his chest gets healed up. And everyone is healed up and ready for round 2. Elza's visor comes up after the most recent power-up from Palpatine. I mean the Dark Emperor, I mean Mazera. But we get 2 combo attacks. The first one just like right before this one, with Shishio and QB getting a new double team medal. But so does the Viper and Sky Snaker, and I feel like theirs is downplayed, even though theirs looks generally a lot better and a lot smoother. Like, I don't mean to, like, say that this episode downplays stuff, but it does really hurt certain aspects. I do like here towards the end where Elza's slowly starting to realize that her power has been capped out. Like, I really wanted her to be a little bit more devastating. I liked what she did to Chiaki, even though Chiaki is one of my favorite characters. I think it shows dominance through power. That she wanted to really rule this area with a iron Kiroshi fist. But after the flashback that basically turned her into Elsa, they kind of killed some of that initial momentum. I'm not saying that ruined her, because that gave her a relatable aspect, which is really nice. Which relatability is so important for certain characters. But she flees to the rooftop, asks Mazera for help again. Mazera's like, Your time's kind of come to its end, maybe. You have to do this with the power I've already given you. Or something along the lines, you have to use what you've already been given to defeat them. And after being slashed by Ronto, she kind of realized that she's stuck, and she's finally starting to come to the realization that she's Elza, not Elza Maker. So she wants Ronto to kill her. Which this plays out, like, Mataro's emotion on Mataro's voice was very strong, but literally it looked like no one else cared, and that really hurt this feeling. You would have imagined that Junpei would have emoted somehow, or like the group would be going, "Oh yeah, kick her butt, destroy her, defeat her," or maybe you shouldn't kill her, or something along that line. Maybe I missed something while taking screenshots, because that can happen. But Ronto drives the sword straight through Elza Maker's chest. Elsa says arigato, like thank you, because she wanted to go. Like, I don't blame her. If you don't have control of your body and your memories are coming back about what had happened to your friends, like the people you loved, then it does make a lot of sense that they would end her this way. But having her become an ally, like a true ally, against Misera would have played out a lot better. This kind of played out bittersweet, like the Kylo Ren Rey situation, where it was a conclusion that our cast seems kind of pleased about. Like, they're not happy, but they're all united together against the Misera threat. But there just feels like something's missing. Like, it felt a little bit sad, but not sad enough to cry, and not hype enough for me to like shout from the rooftops, like when Mataro got his power up, which almost made me shout for joy. Like, you guys get that feeling where you're just like so happy that the word happy cannot describe something, or so sad that the word sad cannot describe something. I feel like this episode was a solid way to, when I say solid, it did run its course the way that everything else would have expected it to, like, style wise. Like, they didn't downplay anything, and at least we didn't get another Ronto flashback. Like, that's the whole truth of the situation. We got the car flashback, but it didn't ruin anything because it was there at the end. No one likes beginning episode flashbacks. Overall, I would say this episode is a very solid B+ or A. It did have things wrong with it. Like, I liked the Disney reference from the last episode because it felt good. I did not read this episode's title prior to just watching it and beginning my review process. I will say that now because I want to make my point known. I feel like they might have done a mistake by killing her off instead of like straight up doing a conversion process, but we don't have like 200%. We don't know 200% if she's like dead or just Elza Maker is dead. Or if we want to just consider her stabbed and defeated. I mean, she did technically ascend into the heavens. Does this make her a forced ghost? Well, I guess now she can become a real non-real. Then again, she won't because she doesn't hold a grudge, guys. But this was probably the best way they could have ended this other than converting her to an ally. Yeah, I'm rambling at this point, so I'm going to end this. Love and appreciate y'all. Hope you enjoyed the episode review. Hope you enjoyed the episode, which will be posted down below. Both the torrent link so you can download it, and the link provided for Daily Motion by Austin or Stark Industries. This episode did have bittersweet moments and some sad moments, but overall, it ran the course that it was supposed to run, I guess. I mean, there's still stuff that's not been answered. Mazera is still the thing. We still have the Ash's favorite threat, Soranaki, kind of. I mean, we saw Soranaki referenced a couple times, so we know Soranaki is possibly going to play a thing. Maybe just is the dark energy. I mean, Mazera basically pulls a Rita Repulsa or Lord Zed and empowers troops. So, who knows? There's just way too much still that we don't know about Mazera. I mean, Elza was played up to be like his Pad 1. I mean, Palpatine's Pad 1. So, I assume that Mazera's gonna be a piece of cake for Earthwalker. Or for, like, the entire team. Like, this fight with Elza The Unmaker was not even a fight. It was several clashes over a single episode for this final battle. I'm not saying every battle needs to be like Luffy and Rob Lucci, but when they are, they're intense. And we'll leave on this note that if this battle would have been like 2 episodes of battling, and we would have gotten this flashback during the end, like her let it go, like Frozen reference thing at the end of the episode, like the last 10 minutes of the episode before this, they could have had some intensity going into this. I feel like after seeing the Frozen episode, I assumed she would be defeated pretty easily because she just doesn't want to fight. Yeah, we're gonna end it here. Yet again, love and appreciate you all. Have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, and or evening.